You're back with the crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
All right, welcome back to the crossover. Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060, brought to you by Western States Plumbing and AC, where members receive 2 annual maintenance visits as well as up to 20% off repairs and new systems. Call today, 480-712-8908. Once again, that's 480-712-8908. And be sure to follow us on our Facebook fan page as well as our YouTube channel at the crossover 1060. All right, San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of, we were talking about Isaiah Simmons the last segment, and that was a big deal. But the real big buzz around the NFL is that the 49ers just traded away Trey Lance for pennies on the dollar. Talking about the number 3 overall pick just a couple seasons ago, and they traded him away to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, of course, Stephen A. Smith, the big Dallas Cowboy hater that he is, he had to take a jab at the Cowboys for the acquisition of Trey Lance and the condition of the Cowboys as normal. And this is a little bit of what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do, Dallas Cowboys. Trading for another quarterback. Could that be that you don't have that much faith in Dak Prescott? Could that be the reason? I'm not sure. I'm just asking. You got another quarterback. I wonder why. Did Cooper Rush go 5-1 as a starter for you last year? What you need another quarterback for? I'm just asking. I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know this. It ain't gonna help you this year. See you soon. You hear?
So, of course, that was Stephen A. Smith doing, his normal thing, his normal hate against the Dallas Cowboys. And we'll get into Stephen A. Smith. What do you got to say about that real quick?
So, the 49ers, they're going all in with Brock Purdy then.
They're going all in with Brock Purdy. And not only that, but Trey Lance, he lost the backup quarterback job to Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
They acquired from Carolina, from the Panthers. I believe that was the last squad that he was playing for. Yeah. So you're talking about 2 quarterbacks that were top 3 picks. I mean, Sam Darnold was the number 1 overall draft pick coming out of USC some years back, like about a half a dozen years ago or so. He flailed out. It didn't work out for him. So he went to Carolina, and now he's out in San Francisco, out in California. He's a backup quarterback ironically, to Mr. Irrelevant.
That's crazy.
Last year, drafted Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the NFL draft. Now he is the starter for the 49ers moving forward.
Yeah, we know that's I'm sure Disney will be picking up the rights to this movie here pretty soon.
It'll be pretty interesting, especially if he can take this team to a Super Bowl and can win a Super Bowl. That will be absolutely huge.
As long as it doesn't start.
I mean, that's a movie.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, what is she going to play? She going to play the mother or something like that? She's going to play Brock Purdy's mama?
Brock Purdy's mom.
Oh, man. Well, here's Jeremy Fowler. He had some details on the Trey Lance trade to the Cowboys franchise and what transpired. So this is Jeremy Fowler's take.
49ers were able to pull off this Trey Lance deal with the Dallas Cowboys because Lance had a market. I was told several teams were involved or at least called, including one team from the AFC. That expedited matters. And Dallas, I'm told, believes it's getting a good 23-year-old player with some football experience and talent that improves their overall roster. So they were thrilled with this kind of move just a couple days before league-wide roster cuts. And also there's the Lance factor into all this from a personal matter. I spoke to somebody who was involved in the whole process with Lance, and they told me that he didn't want to be a 4th-string quarterback somewhere. He wanted out. He wanted a chance to play somewhere. And so the 49ers were willing to oblige and help him. So that certainly moved things along as the 49ers try to crystallize their roster plans that start with Brock Purdy at quarterback.
So the Niners, they agreed to trade Lance, the Dallas Cowboys, in exchange for they get a 4th-round pick. So it's not a 7th-round pick, but you're talking about a franchise quarterback, and they gave up a ton in order to go ahead and try to acquire Trey Lance.
Oh, yes, they did.
You want to hear what they gave up?
Break it down.
The Niners originally they used that number 3 pick, to draft Lance. But in exchange for that, they gave away, in 2021, 3 first-round picks and a 3rd rounder to the Miami Dolphins to acquire that pick. that they now just gave away to the Dallas Cowboys for a fourth round. So you're talking about an extremely expensive trade for the 49ers. Had the 49ers not been in a position that they're currently in, then it would have been absolutely disastrous. They would probably be talking about this as probably one of the biggest busts maybe in recent NFL franchise history, because you gave up 3 first-rounders and a third to a team to go ahead and to move up to the third slot in that 2021 draft to go ahead and acquire this kid that wound up breaking his leg and then couldn't get his starting job back because initially it was Jimmy Garoppolo that came in and he performed well enough. I mean, he was a good manager. He's not a franchise quarterback. No. I think pretty much everybody understands that by now, that he's not going to be a franchise quarterback. But what he is he's a good manager of a good football team. He could take a good football team and kind of a la Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, exactly, those type of quarterbacks. And he can take a team like that and then can put them in position to win, as long as he doesn't continue to throw interceptions and make untimely mistakes. So he did a pretty good job, and then he got hurt, and then here comes Mr. Irrelevant, who outperformed him. Right. So now he's off. Where is he? He's in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
He's with the Raiders.
Garoppolo? Yeah, he's with the Raiders.
Yeah, he's with the Raiders. He's going to love Vegas, by the way.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, the stud that he is.
Right.
Not. I just remember Jimmy Garoppolo. I remember when he was in San Francisco, he was sitting courtside. It was him. It was McCaffrey. It was McCaffrey, and it was Kittle. They were sitting courtside at a Golden State Warriors game. Like the Golden State Warriors cheerleaders, they all went up after they got off the center court. They all went up to him and said hello. They completely ignored Christian and Kittle. They completely ignored them. Like, hey, how you doing, Jimmy? Oh my God, you're so cute. Oh my God. So you can imagine him in Vegas. How much fun he's gonna have.
That's a wrap. I'm pulling for Trey.
Yeah.
You
are.
He's had just such bad luck, and he's a talented player. Obviously, I mean, when you look at his film, what he did in college, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was great at North Dakota State.
North Dakota State, he was phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's got the tools, the size, and and he's still only 23, so
he's young.
I'm hoping that his body can heal, and he's not injury prone throughout the rest of his career. He can recover and, do some things.
His biggest block is going to be his mental block, because apparently he lost the second string job to Sam Darnold, somebody else, and had to get over kind of a mental block from having that much pressure thrust upon them from being such a high draft pick and then it not working out. Sam Darnold seems that he's gotten comfortable in his role. I think Trey Lance is going to have to get comfortable in his backup role, and he's going to have to get his head right. He's got all, like you said, he's got all the physical tools. Still has the athleticism. He's got the physical tools. It's just whether or not he can get over that mental hurdle to where he feels comfortable playing at this level. But he does have a good opportunity here in Dallas, because you're talking about a Dak Prescott that he signed through 2024, and he's going to make $59 million against the salary cap next year for the Cowboys. But Prescott just turned 30. He turned 30 last month, and he's missed games in the last 3 seasons. He's missed a lot of games in the last 3 seasons. He's tied for the NFL lead in interceptions last season. He had 12 games, and he missed 5 starts after suffering a broken right thumb in the season opener. So,
well, let's hope that he gets his head right, learns from Dak, learns the system, and when he's called upon, gets in there and does his thing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so. But you're talking about the hit that the 49ers taking. They're not really hammering the 49ers because they're in good enough position to still compete and win with the quarterback, especially when you luck out and you pick up a guy that's Mr. Irrelevant, and he turns out being arguably your best quarterback on your squad. I mean, that just doesn't happen every day. No. That you're able to pick up a Mr. Relevant. But the 49ers, they are taking a serious hit, a dead money hit. So Lance is scheduled to make $940,000 this year. It's not a lot of money. San Francisco 49ers are like, we'll pick up that tab.
Sure.
But they have a $5.3 million in salary cap hit in 2024, all of which is guaranteed. Upon trading him, the Niners will also incur dead money hit of $8.3 million this year and a $5.5 million hit in 2024. So it helps to have somebody like Brock Purdy that doesn't cost that much money, that they can go ahead and hold on to him and try to stretch out that contract. as long as they possibly can, and try to find and fit pieces around the rest of the team's needs to try to get them back to a Super Bowl and try to get them a Super Bowl win for the first time since Steve Young.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
That'd be a long time.
And San Francisco's fortunate, like you said, they're in a position team-wise where they can still compete, where they can go ahead and let someone like Trey Lance go.
That's exactly why they were able to do it. And why I don't think that they're getting beat up the way that maybe even the Cardinals are getting beat up for this Isaiah Simmons thing.
Right. They can still compete. They still have the weapons. Debo, Brandon Ayuk, ASU, and Christian McCaffrey.
They got so much talent. They're so loaded. They are so loaded. If they don't win the NFC West and go deep back into the playoffs, if they don't make it, at least I think they absolutely should make it to the conference championship game again. And if they don't win it, then we wonder how much long term this Trey Lance thing is going to maybe impact them and affect them. But their time is right now. It absolutely is.
But
all right, coming up next, we get ourselves in a little of this and that college football kickoff edition right here on the Crossover, KD West 1060.